Hi everyone, and welcome to day 4 of the 7 Days of Gratitude Art Journal Challenge. The prompt for today is creativity, so I wanted to create a fun page using a bunch of techniques that I personally love using in my art journal. I thought that this would showcase a little bit of that creativity that we are thinking about today as we work in our gratitude journals. And so I'm painting this white page with this pale pink color just to add a little bit of color and texture to the white background. And I'm just using a paintbrush to carefully paint on top of this page, and I'm using a scrap piece of paper behind so I can get all the way to the edges. And then I just set that aside to dry while I work on an insert that I'm going to be taping into the middle of this layout. And so I grabbed this yellow dot paper and I cut it to roughly the size of my journal. I'm going to trim it down later, so I leave a little bit of a border while I'm working. And so now I'm starting to use a technique that I really love, and that is just layering a whole bunch of washi tape on a plain piece of paper and creating kind of a stripe pattern. And so I'm just tearing the washi and layering it over this paper, not worrying about the edges right now because I will trim them off when I'm done. And so I just layer a whole bunch of washi on here, starting with the widest and working to the thinnest as I layer to the top, and also leaving the metallic ones for the top layers as well because I don't want those to get covered up. I want them to keep all their sparkle. And so I just trim off the excess using a ruler and an X-Acto knife, and I find that's just easiest because the tape stays stuck to that cutting board and you're left with just a piece of paper. And so now I'm trimming this DIY washi tape paper down to the size of my journal, and I'm deciding how I want it to fit into the page. And what I'm going to do now is trim out some boxes that I can put some journaling in. And so I just want to list out a couple of the creative things I do. And so I'm just cutting out enough space to write 5 single words. And so I use my X-Acto knife to cut out 5 skinny boxes, and I'm just cutting them horizontally, and then I take my scissors and trim them so I can make them into full boxes. So you can see me doing that now. I'm just trimming in the middle of the box and then all the sides. Of course, you can use an X-Acto knife to cut the vertical sides of the boxes as well, but I find it's just quicker with scissors. It is a little messier, but that's okay for this art journal because it is the creativity spread and nothing has to be perfect. And so you can see me kind of playing around with this page that I've created and how I want to adhere it into the journal. So I end up grabbing this clear with white polka dot washi tape. It's a really subtle washi tape, so that's why I chose it to adhere this page into my journal. I didn't want the washi tape to distract too much from the rest of the page. And because I had so many patterns going on the back side with the washi tape, I decided to keep this one super simple. And so I taped it on both sides so that it would be a flap and it's really secure in there. And so now I'm using this creativity lettered title that is available in the printable I made for this challenge. And I'm just kind of thinking about if I want to layer a label behind it, and I actually pull this one off and kind of play around with it. And I decide not to use that one. But I pull out a slightly smaller one from the Color Theory label bundle at Studio Calico, and I just grab one of the smaller gray labels to layer behind this title. So I glue it down, leaving the bottom of the Y kind of unglued so that I can layer one of those labels behind it later. And so now I'm just taking a black pen and I'm writing in those words that relate to creativity. And I just kind of think about the different creative things I do in my life, and so I end up listing out writing, crafting, music, baking, and style. And I think instead of doing a full page of journaling or more of a paragraph about journaling, I think it's fun to just have the words. I know what they mean, I know I am grateful for them, and the simplicity of those words on the pink background makes me happy, so I just leave it at that. And so I labeled that gray sticker behind the creativity title, and then I stamped the date using a date stamp. And now I am trying to figure out what to do behind those boxes on the other page. I kind of just look at it in different ways and try to decide if I want to do more journaling, if I want to leave it as just the magazine paper, or add some kind of decoration. And so I decide to add kind of a little quote that's broken up into these boxes. And so I end up spelling out, starting with nothing and finding everything. And that really sums up my gratitude for creativity in one single line. For me, it's all about the process and about starting with supplies or ingredients and making them into something new, something unique, something personal, and something beautiful that only I could have made. And so I hope that you enjoyed seeing this process video of this page coming together. I hope that you are inspired by a technique or two. And if you do create a page for this creativity prompt, I hope that you will tag it on Instagram using the hashtag #GratitudeArtJournal. I can't wait to see what you make. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on day 5. Bye everyone.